ईशान निर्वाण रूपम विभुम व्यापकम ब्रह्म वेद स्वरूपम निजम निर्गुणम निर्विकल्पम निरीहम चिदाकाश माकाश वासम भजेहम जय केदार.
Also, Diwali celebrations from across the country and the world, and news about breakthroughs in the fight against COVID. Let's begin with the headlines. My name is Mark Lin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi celebrates Diwali with the soldiers in Nowshera, Jammu and Kashmir, says soldiers are a shield of protection of Mother India, recalls the valor of soldiers in the surgical strikes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says self-reliance in the defence sector is a powerful way to reform, highlights improved connectivity in border areas, says the daughters of India are now touching new heights in defence and security roles. The nation celebrates the Festival of Lights. President, Vice President, Prime Minister greet the people on the auspicious occasion. The Border Security Force and Pakistan Rangers exchange sweets on the India-Pakistan international border in Gujarat and Barmer sector of Rajasthan, as well as the Attari-Wagha border. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Kedarnath on the 5th of November will unveil the Sri Adi Shankaracharya Samadhi and also inaugurate key infrastructure projects. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone for multiple projects worth over 180 crore rupees. Prime Minister will address a public rally as well. The festival of Diwali is being celebrated across the globe. Leaders extend Diwali greetings. British Prime Minister extends Diwali greetings, acknowledges huge contribution of Indians in the UK. 5 UK pound coin is unveiled to commemorate the life and legacy of Mahatma Gandhi. The Australian Foreign Minister says the close relationship between India and Australia is underpinned by friendship. In a boost to the fight against COVID-19, Britain becomes the first country in the world to approve potentially game-changing COVID-19 antiviral pill, jointly developed by Merck as well as Ridgeback Biotherapeutics. The medicine will be taken as soon as possible after a positive test from COVID and within 5 days of the onset of symptoms. World Health Organization's Europe head says that Europe faces real threat of COVID-19 resurgence, says that the current transmission rates in 53 European countries are of grave concern. And in sports, Australia destroy Bangladesh in Dubai to brighten their chances of a semi-final berth in the T20 World Cup being played in the UAE. Our top story, as is his custom, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spent Diwali with soldiers at the frontiers. Now, for the soldiers, it's always uplifting to have the Prime Minister in their midst, motivating and encouraging them. The Prime Minister carried with him the greetings of the entire nation. Here's our report.
आपके लिए सेना में आना एक साधना है, साधना. जैसे कभी ऋषि मुनि साधना करते थे ना, मैं आपके हर एक के भीतर वो साधक का रूप देख रहा हूं. और आप मां भारती की साधना कर रहे हैं.
Continuing the tradition of celebrating Diwali with Jawans, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Nowshera in Jammu and Kashmir to spend time with the soldiers at the frontiers, expressing gratitude for their valor, sacrifice to protect and defend the country at challenging heights in the Himalayas. The PM called them his family and assured them that he carried the greetings of 130 crore Indians who had the good fortune of their exemplary service at the frontiers. Prime Minister Modi lauded the brave soldiers who made the supreme sacrifice in defense of the country. The PM also recalled the bravery of this brigade during the conduct of the surgical strikes.
सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक में यहाँ की ब्रिगेड ने जो भूमिका निभाई वो हर देशवासी को गौरव से भर देता है और वो दिन तो मैं हमेशा याद रखूंगा क्योंकि मैं कुछ तय किया था सूर्यास्त के पहले कि सब लोग लौट करके आ जाने चाहिए और मैं हर पल फोन की घंटी पर टिकटिका के बैठा हुआ था कि आखिर से आखिर मेरा जवान पहुंच गया क्या और कोई भी नुकसान किए बिना ये मेरे वीर जवान लौट करके आ गए पराक्रम करके आ गए सिद्धि प्राप्त करके आ गए.
The Prime Minister asserted that the country is making every effort to modernize and equip the armed forces for the wars of the future, being battle ready for the changing nature of warfare.
आज की युद्ध कला सिर्फ ऑपरेशंस के तौर तरीकों तक ही सीमित नहीं है. आज अलग अलग पहलुओं में बेहतर तालमेल, टेक्नोलॉजी और हाइब्रिड टेक्निक्स का उपयोग बहुत बड़ा फर्क डाल सकता है. संगठित नेतृत्व एक्शन में बेहतर समन्वय आज बहुत जरूरी है. इसलिए बीते समय से हर स्तर पर लगातार रिफॉर्म्स किए जा रहे हैं. चीफ ऑफ डिफेंस स्टाफ की नियुक्ति हो या डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ मिलिट्री अफेयर्स का गठन, ये हमारी सैन्य शक्ति को बदलते समय के साथ कदम ताल करने में अहम रोल निभा रहे हैं.
The PM highlighted the self-reliance of the armed forces, with about 65% of the procurement budget being spent on domestic procurement. Arjun tanks, aircraft like Tejas are strengthening India's military might.
आज हमारे देश के भीतर अर्जुन टैंक बन रहे हैं, तेजस जैसे अत्याधुनिक लाइट कॉम्पैक्ट एयरक्राफ्ट बन रहे हैं. अभी विजयदशमी के दिन 7 नई डिफेंस कंपनियों को भी राष्ट्र को समर्पित किया गया है. उत्तर प्रदेश और तमिलनाडु में बन रहे डिफेंस कॉरिडोर इस स्पीड को और तेज करने वाले हैं. ये सारे कदम जो आज हम उठा रहे हैं वो भारत के सामर्थ्य के साथ साथ डिफेंस एक्सपोर्टर के रूप में हमारी पहचान को भी सशक्त करने वाले हैं.
Women are reaching new heights in the defense services and are now given permanent commission in the army. Military institutions, including Sainik schools, have been opened up for women.
देश की रक्षा के क्षेत्र में भी भारत की बेटियों की भागीदारी अब नई बुलंदी की तरफ बढ़ रही है. मिलिट्री पुलिस के द्वारा बेटियों के लिए खोलने के बाद अब महिला अफसरों को परमानेंट कमीशन देना इसी भागीदारी के विस्तार का ही हिस्सा है. अब बेटियों के लिए नेशनल डिफेंस एकेडमी, राष्ट्रीय मिलिट्री स्कूल और राष्ट्रीय इंडियन मिलिट्री कॉलेज जैसे देश के प्रीमियर मिलिट्री संस्थानों के दरवाजे खोले जा रहे हैं.
Prime Minister Modi paid tribute to martyrs in Nowshera as well and visited the Nowshera Museum. The PM interacted with ex-servicemen and also planted saplings. Ever since taking office as Prime Minister in 2014, Prime Minister Modi has celebrated Diwali with soldiers every year and visited forward posts. In 2019, the PM celebrated Diwali with soldiers at the Army Division headquarters in Rajouri. Earlier in the year 2014, the PM celebrated Deepavali at Siachen and in 2017 in Bandipora.
And to discuss the Prime Minister's visit to Nowshera and his interaction with the troops and his message, we have with us Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, retired former Director General of Infantry. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. And we'll also be joined in a little while by Alok Bansal, Director of the India Foundation. General Kulkarni, the Prime Minister says that the armed forces are his family and he's with them on Diwali. Now, he also spoke about the professionalism of the armed forces and he added that they have human values, which is what makes our armed forces, different from the rest of the world. How would you react?
Mark, you're absolutely right. I think the Prime Minister's message, when I would say all things are equal, it's the morale which is the most decisive factor. And the visit of the Prime Minister addressing the troops, intermingling with them, talking to them, making them feel at home and comfortable, making them and conveying it to them that they are his family and that they, much that he understands that they are not with their family, but for him, the armed forces are his family and he's there to lead them for the nation. It's a force multiplier. You can imagine a human mind, a human being can do wonders. And those wonders come when he feels confident, when he feels safe and secure, and more than anything else, so much of responsibility given to him that the entire nation can celebrate Diwali because it is he who is responsible and who is executing the task given to him in the finest of manner of which the Prime Minister of the country is proud of, and that he represents 130 crore people and he's come to convey their gratitude and blessings and feeling. I think that is a force multiplier. That is what is the decisive factor. That is what makes the morale go sky high. And this is what the men want. Everything is possible if he is willing to deliver. The commitment, the professionalism, the desire to do it for the country comes when he feels that the nation stands behind him. He doesn't have to worry about anything. All he needs to do is perform to the best of his ability to ensure the territorial integrity and the sovereignty of the nation. I think that message has gone loud and clear, and it's not once. He's been doing that for years on the day of Diwali, which he understands that the troops are there, and this is what it is. I think it's wonderful. Yeah? The troops could have asked for more. The armed forces could have asked for more. A man who represents the nation stands with the armed forces in times of need, in even otherwise also in peace and in war. There can be nothing better. This is what is the game changer. This is what raises the morale. This is what makes the troops feel wanted.
Indeed. We've also been joined by Alok Bansal, Director of the India Foundation. Thank you very much, Mr. Bansal. The Prime Minister, while his message is clear, he also speaks about the soul of India. He says that we're not just defending the country, we are defending the very soul of India, and he describes that also as national vibrancy, unity, integration, the whole energy of our country in a sense. So I mean the job, it isn't just a job, is what he said. It's not a job for a salary. It's something well beyond that. It's like worship. Your work is worship. He's put it to that extent. Your comments, Mr. Bansal.
That's what is important. I think soldiers are on the vigil on the border, and that ensures that people of the citizens of the country are able to celebrate holidays, are able to celebrate the festivals, live in comfort in their homes. And you can't call it as a job, because no amount of compensation can actually compensate for the efforts that the soldiers are putting in. And what he has tried to say is that we are not defending just the borders, we are defending the soul, the whole concept of India. The armed forces actually symbolizes the diversity of India. People from across the spectrum, class, religion, area, region, they come and join the armed forces. So armed forces are far more than just the defenders of the borders. They actually symbolize India. They are actually a microcosm of what India is. So they are actually the soul. And I think Prime Minister, by this wonderful initiative that he has taken ever since he's come to power, of visiting the Jawans on every Diwali, has actually boosted their morale enormously. Now, the very fact that he has come to Nowshera this time, and before that, of course, he met the Air Force personnel at Jammu, shows that he understands the significance of this particular area. And this area has gained enormous significance because now the cross-border terrorism, which was till now confined to Kashmir Valley, there is a sincere effort being made by them to spread it to Punch Rajouri belt, where Prime Minister has gone. So I think he has actually emphasized that many statements that he made were very, very relevant. He talked about the surgical strike, which was launched from here. And he also talked of defense infrastructure, which needs to be built up. And he also talked of connectivity. because this is again a very, very remote area. If you've been to Rajouri, Kunch, you
Sure.
realize this is extremely remote. But connectivity has improved not only in this part, but across the entire spectrum, as across the entire border.
Yes.
We see that the connectivity has improved. So there are a lot of statements which he made, which are very, very relevant.
General Kulkarni, now recalling the brave hearts of the brigade, as well as the role that they played, the role of the surgical strike, and the fact how, you know, he was concerned right throughout that, and that they would come back safely. This kind of a message, I mean, it's more, it's also gratitude from the part of the, you know, the highest office of government, and also the, apart from gratitude, it is something that the nation also supports. He says that he's coming with 130 crore Indians behind him to speak like this. And also, I mean, what kind of, let's say, I mean, it's motivating, but morale boosting from that point of view. I mean, you as a soldier, what would you feel if you listen to that?
There is no doubt that soldiering is a way of life. It's nothing to do with job. It's a way of life, and which he is accepting it, and he goes about it.
Okay.
You know, even things like remembering Brigadier Mohammad Osman, remembering Lieutenant Rane for his Paramveer Chakra, remembering Mohammad Osman for having given Mahavir Chakra posthumously, understanding that these are the people who ensured that Nowshera is with us today. He is the one who said the lion of Nowshera. How Brigadier Osman, irrespective of what religion he belonged to, stood to commitment to ensure the defense of Nowshera at a time when the raiders had taken Janjar. He stood. And if you remember, Brigadier Osman said he would not sleep on the cot. He would sleep on the floor till such time he got Janjar back. That is the commitment of Brigadier Osman, for which he was given Mahavir Chakra posthumously, and he sacrificed his life. And remembering all the people who have fallen in the way of the duty by the Prime Minister, making them commit his own commitment, his own involvement to say that while when the surgical strike was on, he was awake till he got the report and till he was monitoring the last man had come back safe and sound. What does that show? This commitment, this concern for the armed forces and ensuring the modernization of the armed forces, ensuring that they're taken care of, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's ensuring their food, whether it's ensuring their weapons, their clothing, their complete, the logistic backup, making them feel just look in front, don't look back, look in front. The nation stands behind you. Don't let the enemy look at your country with anything. Therefore, should be ready to sort them out should the danger comes. This is the commitment. This is the kind of feeling that a soldier gets, that if the Prime Minister of the nation is so much concerned with that surgical strike and the boys having gone there and is monitoring the return, is ensuring that they get the best at all times, is working toward that. What he said, that the Arjun tank, the Tejas modernization, the ordnance factory has been corporatized, made into 7 PSUs, private public partnerships that are coming up, the defense corridors that are coming up. Just see the involvement, the concern to ensure that nation becomes self-sufficient when it comes to the security and safety of the nation. We need not look outside. No imports, export, and give the state of the art to the Jawan. And I think that message has gone loud and clear. Being amongst them, it of course raises their morale sky high. It gives him also as a Prime Minister, he gets to know the pulse within about 10-15 minutes. A man of that stature and of that standing doesn't take long to know the pulse of the men. And when he interacts with them, when he sees that on their face what comes, assuring the women that they are equal partners, the opportunities being given to the women, all of it. His speech itself contains so much that the people get to know, the nation comes to know, and you will remember, Mark, 1,75,000 girls have applied for the entrance exam of the National Defence Academy. Can you imagine? There are just about 500 seats less, 1,75,000 girls and over 5 lakh applications for those seats. And the commitment and the kind of women desirous of joining, this all is indicative that everybody wants nation building. Everybody wants to see their nation being seen as vibrant. Everybody wants strong leadership, and everybody is willing to commit to the nation if he's finding that he's wanted. That is how I see it.
Indeed. Mr. Bansal, you know, I mean, while talking about modernization, there's also institutional modernization that's taking place for us to be prepared for better preparation in terms of planning. And the Prime Minister spoke about the Department of Military Affairs, the Office of the CDS, steps in the right direction. We know General Kulkarni already referred to technology, the wars of the future, the fact that we are, you know, Atmanirbhar or self-reliant to a large extent. But how do you think, I mean, what do you think about institutional changes within the armed forces to adapt for the wars of the future?
See, the institutional changes that have been brought about are very, very significant. I think the most significant has been the establishment of the Office of CDS. Of course, there's a long way to go. We need to create a integrated theater commands. We need to modernize, going for more jointmanship. But one of the most significant aspect which Prime Minister touched was on indigenization, where he said that 2 defense industrial corridors have been created in UP and Tamil Nadu, and I think Make in India is being brought in a very, very big way. Now, this is a very significant development which we need to understand, because in past few years, large number of defense equipment indigenization has taken place. A lot of Indian firms have moved into the defense production field. And it is very important that when private sector firms start manufacturing defense equipment, we will see a quantum jump, and we are already seeing huge investments coming into this particular field. And I think even the foreign companies are also coming in and investing in this particular field. So I think Prime Minister's thrust on defense infrastructure, indigenization, transformation of the defense organization, connectivity, morale boosting of the troops by going to their forward areas, meeting with the ex-servicemen, because this is important. The veterans in this country need to be given greater salience. I think most of the advanced countries like the United States and all, veterans are placed on a very, very high pedestal. Yes. I think what Prime Minister has done is that he has been interacting with veterans, actually acknowledging their contribution to the nation and acknowledging their contribution to the society. And what is important is that as far as women's induction is concerned, he talked about not only their induction in National Defense Academy, but also into Sainik schools, military schools, military academies, etc. And this message coming at that place is very, very important, because in India, it is not only an institutional inertia, there is also a social inertia as far as induction of women into the armed forces was concerned. And I think giving that message to the troops right there on the front is actually a very, very significant factor. He actually is telling them that a time has come to transform, and the women now get an equal opportunity to shoulder this huge responsibility for the country. And I think this message on Diwali Day has been the right message which has gone to the troops and has gone to the country. He's also given certain messages across the border by saying that surgical strike was done with precision without getting any casualties. So all these messages which he has given, by giving them, I think has sent the right environment. Not only it gives boost the morale of our troops, but also sends right signals across the borders and also to the countrymen in the country, across the country.
I can see that it is Diwali and there are fireworks going on in the background as well. But General Kulkarni, you know, I mean, Mr. Bansal spoke a little bit earlier also about the connectivity. Now, the connectivity issue is crucial. I mean, this has been said for a very long time, how we had to improve connectivity close to the borders, and this is finally happening. How significant is this? You know, the Prime Minister talked from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh and from Jaisalmer to the Andaman and Nicobar. So, I mean, he's talked about massive amount of movement of I mean, basically infrastructure building right into the border areas.
Tremendous, Mark. I tell you, the amount of infrastructure stress and importance that has been given, whether it is tunneling, whether it is railway lines being laid, whether it is helipads being activated, or it's the airfields, forward airfields which are being upgraded, it's the 4-laning of the roads which have been done, the bridges that have come up, all of it leads to logistically sustaining the troops in the forward area, be it on the LAC or be it on the LOC, much, much faster. What it was when I joined the army, it would well be taken about 6 to 7 days to reach a particular place. And all modes of transportation will be used, from animals to porters to self to boats and what have you. Today, you find connectivity has improved tremendously, and substantial improvement in the connectivity raises the morale. That is one. The second thing is the laying of cables, the amount of infrastructure capability increasing, communication facilities enhanced, logistically people are sustained, the improvement in the living conditions that has gone up, all of it helps raise the morale. It helps ensure that the men will give in their best. It gives a certain messaging to the troops that the nation is working day in and day out to ensure that nobody, nothing will be left, no stone will be left unturned to ensure the safety, security and welfare of the men. I think that's a loud and clear message which has been given, and that will and it's happening. It's happening much faster. Earlier, probably the connectivity infrastructure would take years on. Nothing like that. You found the Atal tunnel by dot. It's already. You find the Sela tunnel, which is there. Everybody's saying by next year people will start using it. That's the kind of importance. That's the kind of deadlines being ensured. I think all of it definitely is indicative that the nation is looking at it and nation is preparing it, and let nobody look at us with an evil eye.
Mr. Bansal, with regard to the wars of the future, now the fact is that technology is playing a significant role. We can see that UAVs or drones are being used and they are quite easy to purchase, and we know that non-state actors can also easily get them. And the point is that, even in terms of the training, and we see that women are going to be playing a more significant role. They are eager to join the armed forces. How do you see, all this playing out in terms of roles being assigned and the fact that the wars of the future are largely technological driven?
See, firstly, there is no doubt that technology has always, throughout human history, technology has made a huge impact on the warfare and has actually even transformed the way wars have shaped up. So to that extent, technology is very significant. We have seen the use of drones by belligerents that have been seen for quite some time. But what we are now seeing is that the drones are also being used by non-state actors. It was seen in Jammu, and that sort of an activity can also happen in future. At the same time, India is also emerging as a hub for drone manufacturing and drone technology. So in times to come, I think we'll be in the forefront of drone technology and other technological developments. So technology development is a very, very significant factor. The second, as I told you, the women's induction is a very, very transformative step because it not only requires institutional inertia to be broken, it also requires certain amount of social transformation which is taking place. And as far as technological development is concerned, I think these defense industrial corridors that are being created, they will in times to come become the hubs of innovation. And I think we are already seeing huge innovations taking place in India. Even today, most of the innovations that are done in United States, Indians contribute a large amount of it. I think once we have that infrastructure in India, we will see that more and more such inductions would take place within India itself rather than outside. So in times to come, I think both these factors will have a significant impact on India's armed forces. And as Prime Minister has emphasized, I think our defense preparedness, our defense infrastructure is going to improve. It's already improved considerably, and in days to come, it will further improve. And as I always said, our strong defense forces are a sine qua non as far as a strong nation and stable nation is concerned. I think so we have to focus. I think Prime Minister, by visiting the soldiers, has managed to bring the focus of the entire country onto the soldiers who are doing their jobs, irrespective of time of the year, place of the year, or the weather, or the terrain.
General Kulkarni, the fact is that the Prime Minister was definitely inspirational in terms of his motivation to the armed forces. The question that comes to mind, what motivates a person to join the armed forces? Because you talked a little earlier about so many people who are interested and women especially, interested in applying for the armed forces. Even though the Prime Minister says this is not a job where you're going to look for money, it's not a salaried kind of a job. you're actually there to serve and defend the soul of the nation. So in this context, you know, I mean, what is it that inspires a soldier?
See, soldiering is a way of life, and that once you find that the Prime Minister himself sees the armed forces as his family, the respect that the soldier earns in the society that is, and the kind of looking after that the entire nation does for the job that he's doing. When I say job, the task that is being assigned to him, and he does it 24/7. And
Yes.
that is what motivates him. The desire to see that nothing should go wrong with this nation. It must give, the capacity building takes time. Intentions can change overnight. To ensure that the intentions don't change, the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the nation has to be defended, because much of it depends upon the economic prosperity. The economic prosperity will only come when the nation is strong, and the strength of the nation comes, it's both are dependent on each other. The more economically prosperous you are, the more stronger the defenses are. But ensuring that the defense of the nation is strong, it motivates. When you find that where does a Prime Minister would be interacting with ordinary citizens? But here he goes and interacts with Jawan. He has a cup of tea with them. He ensures that he eats the same kind of snacks that are offered over there. All of it makes the ordinary citizen look up to the armed forces with pride, with respect. Here is the profession that I must join. Everybody is hardworking. Who's not committed? Everybody is professionally sound. But he feels that little X factor that comes. It is in the armed forces. So much of looking after, respect is being given, irrespective of the 24/7 that the soldiers work for. The soldier himself feels motivated, because it comes inherent to him that if the nation is looking up to him to defense, then he must work, and he must not look at what kind of weather it is and what he has to eat or not to eat. He must put in his bed. I think this is what matters, and this is where the morale comes in. This is where what you rightly said, it's a way of life. It's a real way of life. He looks at it as what he's called it sadhana. And that is a word which is very difficult to describe. And once that comes, and the people in the nation feel that soldiering is respected, soldiering is done with a view to ensure that it is no longer a conventional war. Every man is a soldier in this country. It's a hybrid war. Economic cripple it. The enemy would want to cripple you economically. He would do all kinds of things to ensure the nation does not prosper. So every man in this country is a soldier. The soldier who is donned in uniform has a different role. But every person is a soldier in this country to ensure that nobody can wreck the economy of this country. Nobody sleeps with the enemy.
Spoken like a true soldier, sir. All right. I'll leave the last word to you, Mr. Bansal. So we are talking really about bravery and, you know, the valor that the soldier has, and basically that is what inspires every Indian as well, because we look up to our armed forces, and the Prime Minister made that clear, you know, that 130 crore Indians will be lighting lamps for the armed forces today. So in the end, what would you think about the bravery elements of our armed forces and the manner in which the Prime Minister described that today, especially with, you know, remembering the role of the surgical strikes and the people who made the supreme sacrifice?
See, Nowshera has a very important role. As you know, in 1947-48, Brigadier Usman Naik, Kedarnath Singh, a lot of people have sacrificed their lives, and I think they have exemplified valor and bravery in this country. I think not even an iota of doubt is there as far as the valor and bravery of Indian Armed Forces is concerned. And I think Prime Minister, by paying them tribute on his visit there, has, I think, again highlighted this fact that the nation salutes their bravery and valor. And I think by requesting all countrymen to light a lamp for our armed forces personnel, he has, I think, tried to connect each and every citizen of India with those who are defending our borders. And this actually is a huge morale boosting step as far as the soldiers are concerned, because for some time now there has been a feeling that the countrymen do not recognize their sacrifices. But Prime Minister, ever since he has taken over, I think by doing this, visiting all, every Diwali visiting some forward post, visiting some armed forces soldiers, has actually given them that feeling of pride. And I think his emphasis on defense of India is, I think, what is very important, and that has, I think, contributed a lot as far as strengthening of India's armed forces is concerned,
Yes.
and also strengthening India as a nation is concerned.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, General Sanjay Kulkarni, former Director General Infantry, and Alok Bansal, Director of the India Foundation, for helping us understand the importance of the Prime Minister's visit to Nowshera and the message of the Prime Minister there. Moving on then to our next story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Kedarnath on Friday, and the Prime Minister will be unveiling the reconstructed Sri Adi Shankaracharya Samadhi, as well as a statue of Sri Adi Shankaracharya there. So various projects also will be put in place. The foundation stone will be laid for boosting the Kedarnath shrine. Here's what to expect from the Prime Minister's visit to the holy shrine.
Kedarnath is coming up as an attractive and popular tourist destination among devotees. It will get a number of gifts when Prime Minister will be visiting Kedarnath, Uttarakhand on the 5th of November. On Friday, Prime Minister will offer prayers at the Kedarnath temple and inaugurate the Sri Adi Shankaracharya Samadhi and unveil the statue of Sri Adi Shankaracharya. The Samadhi has been reconstructed after the destruction in the 2013 floods.
We tap Saraswati river water to make water curtain below this idol, and this water will drain out to Mandakini river. अभी आप जैसे देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे ये पानी पूरा यहाँ पे कंटिन्यू आएगा, बट अभी हमने बंद करके रखा हुआ है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कंस्ट्रक्शन. और वाटर कर्टन जो है बिल्कुल आइडन का जो पीठम है, इसे पीठम बोल रहे हैं, जो बॉटम में है बिल्कुल, तो इसमें वाटर कर्टन रहेगा पूरा और ड्रेन आउट होगा यहाँ से.
Prime Minister will also address a public rally. Apart from that, he will inaugurate key infrastructure projects which have been completed, including Saraswati Retaining Wall, Astha Path and Ghats, Mandakini Retaining Wall, Astha Path, Tirth Purohit Houses and Garud Chatti Bridge over river Mandakini.
और आदि गुरु शंकराचार्य जी की समाधि स्थल जो वहाँ पर प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के बनने के बाद जो काम शुरू हुआ था वो काम पूरा हो गया है. उसका कल वो लोकार्पण करने वाले हैं और आने के बाद पहले भगवान का दर्शन करेंगे. भगवान के दर्शन के बाद स्थलीय निरीक्षण करेंगे पूरे, और फिर जो लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास का कार्यक्रम वो होगा. तत्पश्चात वो पूरे देश की जनता को बाबा केदार की भूमि से, जिस केदार के बाबा केदार के वो अनन्य भक्त हैं, वहाँ से पूरे देश को संबोधित करेंगे.
The projects have been completed at a cost of over 130 crore rupees. Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone for multiple projects worth over 180 crore rupees, including the redevelopment of the Sangam Ghat, First Aid and Tourist Facilitation Centre, Admin Office and Hospital, 2 guest houses, Police Station, Command and Control Centre, Mandakini, Asthapat, Queue Management and Rain Shelter, and Saraswati Civic Amenity Building. Prime Minister will also review and inspect the ongoing works along the Saraswati Asthapat.
The Prime Minister will take a walk, and there the 5 sheds that you see, they are the ghats that have been newly constructed. So all is being done to provide better facility to the pilgrims. With cameraman Ajit and Sharma, this is Vishal Beristo for DD India, Kedarnath.
So Kedarnath is brimming with joy, and why not? Because it's the festival of lights, Diwali, and the temple is especially decorated as pilgrims are thronging in large numbers for darshan. Vishal Beristo is there and he reports.
I'm here at Kedarnath. As you can see, the temple has been decorated specially and beautifully. I have a lot of pilgrims here who have been here at the temple site since early morning. There are long queues. I would ask my cameraman to show you. You can see the long queue is there. People are standing waiting for their turn to go inside the temple and to have darshan. So let's talk to some of the pilgrims and find out. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Riya. I am from Jharkhand.
First of all, what's the feeling? Today is Diwali and you are here at Kedarnath.
Pleasure to be here with Shiva. I've been planning for a year, but it was not happening. I planned a few days before and I'm here. Maybe this time Shiva has called me, so I'm here. Just Wonderful, yeah.
So is it going to be a special Diwali for you?
Amazing. This is the best Diwali I can have ever.
You were lucky to go inside and you have done the darshan. So how's the feeling?
Very good, very nice, feeling really blessed, and everything is very well managed inside. The temple is very well decorated, as you can see, for Diwali, and I'm just glad to be here today on this day.
So how's the feeling?
Great, great. I mean, I cannot feel more blessed than, being here on Diwali day. And it's wonderful, and I hope we make it again and again over.
Since you are from Gujarat, let me tell you that the Prime Minister is also visiting this place, as he has been doing for some years. So how's the feeling that he is also here? He will be also.
Feeling very proud, and very, very proud belonging to Gujarat. And Prime Minister is also from Gujarat. And we're lucky to be here the day before.
So there you heard from the lady. As you can see, the queue is there. So everybody is waiting for his or her turn. But today is a very, very special day. Today is the Festival of Lights. And we all hope that good always prevail over evil. And wishing you all a very happy Diwali with my cameraman Ajit. This is Vishal Beristo for DD News, Kedarnath.
Well, as Vishal says, it is Diwali, the festival of lights, and diyas or lamps, they are mentioned in fact in the Skand Kishore Purana as parts of the sun, the cosmic giver of light and energy. So the festival is celebrated in the Hindu calendar month of Kartik. The religious significance of Diwali varies regionally within India, but among the most famous traditions is from the Hindu epic Ramayana, the day on which Lord Ram, Sita and Lakshman and Hanuman, they reach Ayodhya after a period of 14 years in exile and after the defeat of the demon king Ravan.
The festival of lights Deepavali is being celebrated across the country with traditional fervour and gaiety. Homes and markets are decked up with scintillating lamps and colourful lights. People exchange sweets and gifts and wished Happy Deepavali to each other. President Ramnath Kovind greeted the countrymen on the occasion. He tweeted, "I extend my greetings and best wishes to all the countrymen on the auspicious occasion of Diwali. Diwali is the festival of victory of good over evil and light over darkness. Let us celebrate this festival in a clean and safe way and take a pledge to contribute in protecting the environment." Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in his message wished that signifying the victory of good over evil, the festival reaffirms our belief in the noble ideals of Sri Ram's life. May this festival that brings light, harmony and prosperity into our lives usher in a new enthusiasm to make our lives more fulfilling and bring happiness to everyone. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his congratulatory message wished the countrymen happiness and prosperity. In his tweet, the Prime Minister said, "Greetings to the countrymen on the auspicious occasion of Deepavali. I wish that this festival of light brings happiness, prosperity and good fortune in your life." Union Home Minister Amit Shah wrote to the countrymen wishing Deepavali, wishing everyone a very happy Deepavali. May this great festival of light brings happiness and illuminates everyone's life with new energy, health and prosperity. On the occasion of Diwali, special prayers were offered in temples across the country. A large number of devotees visited the Somnath temple in Gujarat and offered prayers. Devotees were seen excited while visiting the temple on the auspicious occasion.
दीपावली के शुभ पर्व पे हम पहली बार आए हैं सोमनाथ। हमें दीपावली घर में तो हमेशा दियों से मनाते हैं, आज भोलेनाथ के साथ। हर हर महादेव।
मैं एक्चुअली बहुत अच्छा लगा। आप देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का बहुत अच्छे से पालन कर रहे हैं सब लोग, और हमें एकदम आराम से दर्शन करने को मिला आज। तो हम बहुत खुश है कि हम इतनी दूर से आए और हमको इतने अच्छे दर्शन करने को मिले।
जब हमारा बच्चा छोटा था ना तब हम आए थे, तो शायद 30 साल हो गए, 30-32 साल हो गए। तो आकर ऐसा लगा कि बहुत सारी फैसिलिटी हो गई है। ये देखकर खूब आनंद आया।
यहाँ जितनी सुकून कहीं मिलता ही नहीं है, ये बात पक्की। आप चाहे पूरे इंडिया में कहीं भी जाओ, सोमनाथ तो सोमनाथ।
Several events were held in different parts of the country. Union INB Minister Anurag Thakur celebrated Diwali with people at his residence in Hamirpur district of Himachal Pradesh. Since morning, there was an influx of people congratulating him from all over the state. Union Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting L. Murugan celebrated Diwali at his residence in Chennai. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath visited the beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and handed over Diwali gifts and ration to them. On this occasion, Chief Minister Yogi met the children and gave them gifts. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan shared the joy of Diwali with the children who have lost their parents in the corona pandemic. Soldiers guarding our borders were also seen celebrating the Festival of Lights. BSF Jawans celebrated Diwali with their units along the Indo-Pak border in the Jaisalmer district of Rajasthan. India-Pakistan forces exchanged sweets at the Attari-Wagah border, symbolizing the love and brotherhood. All in all, the Festival of Lights had created tremendous enthusiasm among the people, and everyone seems to be busy sharing happiness with each other. Bureau Report, DD India.
And leaders from across the world, they extended their greetings on the occasion of Diwali, and in the UK, a £5 coin was issued by the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, to commemorate the life and the legacy of Mahatma Gandhi.
The Festival of Lights, Diwali, was celebrated in India and across the globe with religious fervour, amity and gaiety. Leaders from around the world extended their greetings. Diwali marks the victory of good over evil, light over darkness and knowledge over ignorance. Extending Diwali greetings, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson in a video message said Britain would be a lesser country today without the huge contribution of Indians living there.
Hi folks, it's Boris Johnson here wishing everybody a very happy Diwali. And to British Indians, for whom this festival means so much, I want to express my personal admiration and respect for everything you do for our country. So, to everyone celebrating Diwali here in Britain and around the world, I want to wish you all a happy Diwali and a joyful and successful New Year.
British High Commissioner to India Alex Ellis extended Diwali greetings in Hindi. The British envoy wished for happiness, success and prosperity in his Diwali greetings.
मैं और ब्रिटिश हाई कमीशन का परिवार ये आशा करते हैं कि आप खुश रहें और सुरक्षित रहें. Wishing all of you a very happy Diwali.
On the occasion of Diwali, British Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, unveiled a new £5 coin to commemorate the life and legacy of Mahatma Gandhi. The design builds on the enduring relationship and cultural connections between India and the UK. The commemorative coin has been launched to coincide with Diwali and during the 75th year of India's independence. The £5 coin, which goes on sale today, is part of the Royal Mint's wider Diwali collection, which includes 1 gram and 5 gram gold bars in henna-style packaging, and the UK's first gold bar depicting Lakshmi, the Hindu goddess of wealth. Available in a range of standards, including gold and silver, the special collector's coin was designed by Hina Glover and features an image of the lotus, India's national flower, alongside one of Gandhi's most famous quotes, "My life is my message." Diwali greetings also came in from the United Nations. The UN, in its Diwali greetings, said, "A happy and safe Diwali to all those who are celebrating." While extending Diwali greetings, Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne said the close relationship between India and Australia is underpinned by friendship.
Namaste. I extend my warmest greetings to everyone celebrating Diwali. As Australia and India emerge from the pandemic, we are grateful to those who have brought kindness and health. The nurses, the doctors, the first responders, including many in Australia's vibrant Indian community. We are grateful for the bonds of friends and family, both in our immediate circles and between our countries. Ties between Australia and India have never been stronger.
Replying to Australian Foreign Minister Marise Payne, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said, "Thank you, Marise Payne. Friends share their hopes and happiness together." French Ambassador to India, Emmanuel Lenné, too extended Diwali greetings on the occasion.
This year, the pandemic has brought us incredible hardship. We've seen friends, we've seen families suffering. But again, hopefully, we see the light of hope shine again due to great collective effort, great cooperation, and obviously progress in vaccination. And we are very admirative that the country just crossed the vaccine century milestone. I'm also delighted to see that more and more French people here at the embassy, in India, even in France, are embracing this great festival of Diwali, are lighting some lamps, are embracing the message of hope. Shubh Deepavali Dosto.
The US Embassy in New Delhi was all decked up in bright Diwali lights and colors.
the Festival of Lights has quickly found a special place in my heart. On behalf of the U.S. mission in India, I wish all celebrating a very happy Diwali. May this day bring light, peace, and new beginnings to you. Shubh Deepavali.
In another development, United States lawmakers introduced a Deepavali Day Act, a legislation that would make Diwali a nationally recognized holiday there. Led by Congresswoman Caroline B. Maloney, the historic legislation has been co-sponsored by a number of lawmakers including Indian Americans. And this time around, an all-American Diwali is being celebrated at the iconic World Trade Center in New York City from November 2 to 4. As part of the All-American Diwali 2021, fireworks lit the sky over the Hudson River on Wednesday night. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, the U.S. President Joe Biden extended Diwali greetings, and in a tweet, Biden said, "May the light of Diwali remind us that from darkness there is knowledge, wisdom, and truth. From division, unity. From despair, hope. To Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, and Buddhists celebrating in America and around the world, from the people's house to yours, Happy Diwali." Now, after the centre's decision to cut excise duty on petrol and diesel, several BJP and NDA-ruled states have announced a reduction in value-added tax on fuel to further provide relief to customers. So the centre on Wednesday had announced a slash of excise duty on petrol by 5 rupees and diesel by 10 rupees. So the centre had urged the states to reduce VAT on petrol and diesel. People have expressed their happiness over the reduction of excise duty on petrol and diesel by the central government.
मैं इसको एक नया तोहफा मानता हूँ सरकार का, और इस सरकार ने इतने तोहफे दिए हैं कि जो पहले कभी किसी सरकार ने नहीं दिए, और सरकार शायद ये सरकार ही पहली आई है जो जनता के बारे में सोचती है, और इसने ये आज और नया तोहफा दिया तो बहुत अच्छी बात है.
तो इसको एक बहुत वेलकम स्टेप मानती हूँ गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से, एंड आई थिंक सो इट्स अ गिफ्ट फॉर द लेडीज स्पेशली, क्योंकि जब पेट्रोल और डीजल के दाम कम होते हैं तो इन्फ्लेशन रेट कम होता है सब्जियों के.
आम आदमी के लिए तो इससे अच्छा दिवाली का तोहफा कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता. दिस इज़ अ गिफ्ट टू मी और टू एंड टू द दिल्ली पीपल. तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, बहुत राहत मिलेगी, पर एक थोड़ा सा और नीचे आ जाएगा तो ये बोनस हो जाएगा दिवाली का.
Well, Britain on Thursday became the first country in the world to approve a potentially game-changing COVID-19 antiviral pill jointly developed by Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics in a boost to the fight against the pandemic. The Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Authority, or agency, it recommended the drug Molnupiravir, and it will be used as soon as possible following a positive COVID-19 test and within 5 days of the onset of symptoms. This is the first oral antiviral treatment for COVID-19 to get approval, and with the green light coming ahead of the potential U.S. regulatory clearance. Also, U.S. advisors will meet this month to vote on whether Molnupiravir should be authorized. So this drug, it's to be branded Lagevrio, and that's going to be the name in Britain. It has been closely watched since the data last month showed it could halve the chances of dying or being hospitalized for those most at risk of developing severe COVID-19 symptoms when given early in the illness. So the British government and the National Health Service, they will confirm how the treatment will be deployed to patients in due course. Last month, Britain agreed a deal with Merck, and they will secure 480,000 courses of Molnupiravir. So the statement said that Merck said that it was expecting to produce 10 million courses of the treatment by the end of the year, with at least 20 million set to be manufactured in 2022. The US-based drug maker's shares were up 2.1% at $90.59 before the market opened. So European countries work harder to prevent COVID-19 from spreading further as deaths and new cases surge. The World Health Organization's Europe head said on Thursday, WHO's Hans Kluge told a media briefing that the current transmission rates in 53 European countries are a grave concern, and new cases are nearing record levels, exacerbated by more transmissible Delta variant. The region saw 6% increase in new cases last week, nearly 1.8 million new cases compared to the week before. The number of deaths rose 12% in the same period. Cluj said that if the region follows this trajectory, then another 500,000 COVID-19 related deaths could occur in the region by February. Belgium on Thursday reported a steep rise in COVID-19 infections and hospitalizations back to levels last experienced in October 2020, 3 days after the United States advised its citizens against traveling to that country that hosts the EU as well as NATO headquarters. So data from Belgium's Health Institute, it showed that 6,728 daily new cases on an average in the last 14 days, and that's up 36% from the previous week. The average of 164 patients with COVID-19 were admitted to hospitals daily in the last 7 days. That's an increase of 31%, and 343 patients were in intensive care. The United States on Wednesday began administering COVID-19 vaccine to children in the age group of 5 to 11. This is the latest group to become eligible for the shots, and they will get protection against the illness. The recipients around them as well. So on Tuesday, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommended the Pfizer-BioNTech shot for broad use in that age group 4 days after it was authorized by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Some sports news. Australia boosted their hopes of qualifying for the men's T20 World Cup semi-finals with an 8-wicket win. They thrashed, in fact, the already eliminated Bangladesh in Dubai. Bangladesh were bowled out for a mere 73 runs, and Australia chased down that target in just 6 overs, a little over 6 overs, 6.2 overs, to significantly improve their net run rate and climb above South Africa into the second place in Group 1. Aaron Finch made 40 and David Warner 18. And with that, we conclude the News Night for tonight. Thank you very much for being with us, and once again, wishing you a happy Diwali. Namaskar.